Thank you to VServe Canada, Trillium Health Partners, and Ara Arts on the launch of the incredible initiative to highlight mental health and wellness. I know this pandemic has been tough for a lot of people, especially on their mental health. And the reality is that no one is immune to it. Everyone can sometimes experience burnout, depression, anxiety, and isolation. I hope that through this series, you can learn how to care and maintain your mental health. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Even though you may feel alone or helpless, I want you to know we have your back. If you need someone to talk to, please reach out to some of the amazing mental health and addiction agencies in your community. Thank you and God bless you.
Mayor Bonnie Crombie here from the great city of Mississauga, sending my best wishes to all the organizers and participants attending the COVID-19 Wellness Series hosted by VServe Canada and Ara Arts in collaboration with Trillium Health Partners. COVID-19 pandemic has brought so many uncertainties to our lives and has disrupted our way of living. It's okay to not feel okay during these uncertain times. It's important to stay active and stay connected mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. The COVID-19 Wellness Series is an opportunity for people to de-stress and take care of their mental health and well-being. By showing up at today's session, you are making your mental health a priority, and you should be very proud of yourself. Brighter days are ahead. In the meantime, stay healthy and stay safe.
Hello, my name is Nicole Lamont. I'm the Vice President of Philanthropy for Trillium Health Partners Foundation. It is my privilege to get to thank you for everything that you have done for Trillium. For those of you who may not be as familiar with Trillium, we are the hospital system that serves close to 2 million people across our Credit Valley Hospital site, Mississauga Hospital, and the Queensway Health Centre, right into West Toronto, through to Oakville, and north up to Milton and Georgetown. We have a very large catchment area and a very full offering of programs, including mental health, the largest in our region. We are so appreciative of your support of our COVID-19 Wellness Series. Your support is ensuring that patients and families have access to the mental health care supports that they need when they need it the most. We are just so appreciative. Thank you for your support. We also understand how much time and energy and dedication goes into organizing events like this, and I want to thank Anu Srivastava and your committee for everything that you have done. Thank you on behalf of the many people who will benefit from your time and your generosity. Have a wonderful event.
Well, hello everybody. To all of you lovely people around the world, my name is Jake Deere, and it's great to have you join us as we do a very special series on COVID-19, the Wellness Series. This is with VServe Canada in association with Ara Arts. They're presenting this very special series, and very soon I'm going to have the presenting host come in and talk about what the series is. You know, these are unprecedented times as we go through this crazy global health crisis, the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. It is so important during a regular time in our life, and more importantly now, that we all take care of our physical and probably more importantly, our mental health. And that is what this series aims to do. Right now is the presenting host, Anu Srivastava, who's going to tell us a little bit about the series, and then introduce our very, very special guest, who's going to take us through some very special conversation on mental health. Anu Srivastava, welcome to this COVID-19 Wellness Series that is put together by VServe Canada in association with Ara Arts, and you know about these great organizations. Welcome to you, and please tell us what this series is all about.
Thank you so much, Jake, and hello everyone. As you rightly said, Jake, these indeed are unprecedented times, and who knew in this day and age that we would not be living our normal lives. Our lives would be disrupted, and things would be so difficult for each and every one of us. And I remember when the lockdown was done sometime in March, the thought was that everybody thought that this was going to go away in a matter of weeks, if not months. But here we are 6 months later, and we are still struggling with trying to figure out what is this all thing about. So we serve Canada, which is a not-for-profit organization, and Ara Arts, which is a social wellness arts and culture organization. They initiated a project in collaboration with the Trillium Health Partners. And what we decided to do was to come up with a COVID wellness series where we were going to come up with coping strategies related to COVID, because the impact of COVID is so far and beyond our reach. And there is no playbook for us to really go by. And so we really had to come up with an idea as to what can we do. Everyone says that I'm fine, but are we really fine? This is what the thought was in my mind when we came up with this series, and we collaborated with the Trillium Health Partners. And the idea was that we were going to get a range of medical doctors, the world renowned doctors, who would really give their insight onto how we can deal with this pandemic and how it affects our mental health. And this was on one side. And on the other hand, we wanted to come up with some alternative methods and how we can take care of ourselves, our self care, through our traditional methods, whether it was meditation, whether it was yoga, or different things. And that's where I'd like to say that we came up with this series, which was yoga and mental health. And we are very, very proud to introduce somebody who is not only an international celebrity, uh, but she is a former Miss India. She's a wellness expert. She's a yoga expert. She's a wellness enthusiast. So none other than Miss Pooja Batra. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you so much, and so nice to see both Anu and Jake. I met you 2 years ago. Thank you for having me back again. And yeah, it's really a very difficult time that we've all been sort of going through right now. It seems like the whole world has been railroaded of some sort. You know, we were going about doing a thing, and suddenly this, curveball came at all of us. And so what came out most from this pandemic was how can we take care of ourselves, which was, of utmost importance, and then take care of our loved ones, because that's how small our world became.
Yeah.
So it was as important as taking care of yourself and your loved ones. And that's the most important thing by the end of it, it seems.
So, Pooja, can we start with our first question, that how do you think yoga impacts mental health and wellness?
So Anu, our nervous system is made of two components. It's parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system is fight or flight, and parasympathetic nervous system is rest and breathe. So 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 when we do yoga, what happens is that we relieve stress, we relieve inflammation, we get more tuned to our body. Even our entire anxiety and everything goes away, because we get to know what our body needs and where it needs more stretching, what is more tight. So we get more sort of aware of what our body is all about. Like, are we having a protruding tummy? Do we have a lower backache? We get more sort of aware of our body. So that's what yoga does. And then there are other kriyas and techniques that yoga does, which is, breathing, meditation. So all this increases your awareness, it increases your concentration. And when we say concentration, that also helps you get away from, addictions that you could have, whether it's alcohol or it's any substance. So it gives you the strength to have that mental ability not to go towards an addictive sort of, situation or a personality. So I think I attribute all of this to yoga, other than
So
having self-discipline, you know.
yoga really calms your mind down and helps you focus and strengthen you mentally a lot more, I guess. Yes,
Yes,
definitely, that's for
yes,
sure.
yes,
So
yeah.
my second question would be that how has yoga actually helped you personally during this pandemic? Because as we know that we all are struggling and we all are going through difficult times. So how did it really help you?
Anu, I also went through a very up and down phase through this pandemic. So I would say that it motivated me, doing yoga motivated me to, get up in the morning and take care of my body. Because I said, if something happens to me, how, or my parents, how am I going to, take care of my parents or my loved ones if I am not in the capacity to take care of, them? Or myself, so I basically was motivated by doing yoga every day, and it kind of disciplined me to, get up in the morning and do it. Also, it allocated a time, a schedule in a day where I could devote, let's say, an hour and a half every day to myself, doing a yoga routine or a breathing routine that was just time for myself, which I think everybody needs. So I think yoga motivates me every day. And if I don't do it, I feel like I'm lacking something. I'd rather not eat a meal or two. But if I'm taken away from doing yoga, I feel there's a miss. I would rather do that than eat. That's how I am right now.
Pooja, you have been doing yoga for a long, long time. So I know that you're very good, but this was a time where when all that practice and all that yoga that you really did, it came into full use right now.
Yes, it did. It really did. And I learned new kriyas. I
Mhm.
learned, jal neti. I learned more breathing techniques. I learned more sort of, kriyas that would help my lungs take in more oxygen, which is of prime requirement right now in COVID times. You have to make sure that you keep your lungs healthy, and you're able to take 80% or 90% more oxygen than what normally you do when you breathe in. So it did help me a lot.
Namaste and welcome back to Yoga with Pooja Batra in association with We Serve Canada COVID Wellness Series. I took up the practice of Jal Neti during this lockdown. This Kriya is one of the 6 purification procedures or Shat Karmas, also known as Shat Kriyas, the yogic system of body cleansing techniques. It is intended mainly to clean the air passageways in the head. And it is especially beneficial now in today's times as it washes out the COVID genomes that are known to get stuck in the nostril hair of our nasal passage. Neti pot is a way to cleanse your sinuses and consequently keep the respiratory tract clear of dirt and toxins. The sinus cavities get clogged with the impurities which cause inflammation, infections, and other respiratory disorders. We require distilled lukewarm water, non-iodized salt, a neti pot, and a small towel. It's very important that the water is germ-free and not tap water. So if you're planning to use tap water, make sure you boil the water first to kill all the germs and then use the water when the water is of lukewarm temperature. Cold water and hot water is not to be used as it may rupture the nasal mucosa. This is what we need. This is a neti pot, which is readily available in any store or online. And another kind of neti pot is this. Looks like this. It's of plastic. This is of copper. You need a small towel or hanky or even napkins would do. So here's what you do. Before you start, you want to check your nasal flow. So you put your hand under your nose and you breathe out. and that way you determine which nostril throws out most air. So for me, it's the left. So I'm going to start my Jalneti from the left, and you can decide the same with your nostril. The other technique that I do is I do Kapalbhati, which is I close one nostril like this, and I breathe out from the other nostril 10 times. And I'll do the same from the other nostril. And I'll breathe out from both the nostrils. Now I can do Jalneti sitting or even standing. You can perform the Neti while you're seated. So when you're sitting, you need a big bowl with a deep bottom or a tray so that you don't wet your clothes. And you lean forward, tilt your head, take the nozzle off the Neti pot and put it in your nostril, take it deep inside, tilt your head, raise your elbows so that your entire procedure is on an incline so that the water comes out easy, and that's one way of doing the Neti. You can also stand in front of your wash basin or your sink. I prefer to do it outside, and I'll show you how. So to stand and do it, this is how you do it. You bend your knees, you tilt your body forward, you tilt your head at an incline, you put the spout of the Neti pot in your nose, you breathe through the mouth, not through the nose. So when you put it inside, you make sure your elbows are at an angle. This is when you need the towel. The water will keep coming out when you do this, so don't get hassled because it's cleaning the passage. And likewise, you repeat it from the other nostril. Similarly, bend forward, body torso forward. You tilt your head, you put the spout in your other nostril, open your mouth. There you go. It is a great technique to keep your ears, eyes, and nose away from infections. It has a cooling effect on the brain by drawing out excessive heat and even relieves you from migraine, seasonal allergies, sinusitis, and bronchitis, as it keeps the nostrils clear and you don't have to breathe from your mouth. Thank you so much for watching my show Yoga with Pooja Batra, and I will see you again with more videos for the COVID Wellness series for We Serve Canada. Take care and be safe.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting you talk about breathing and lungs being so important for that and getting that fresh air, because generally, and I don't have the stats on this, Pooja, but we only use, I think, probably less than 10-20% of our lungs. So you need to do those breathing exercises to exercise your lungs. And you raised a very interesting point where you said it's important that for me to take care of my family and my parents and so on, I need to take care of myself. And the analogy I'll use is, when we're on a plane and when the security video or the attendant talks about, you put your mask on first, and then you put your mask on your seniors or your young kids. The reason you put it on
Yeah,
first is because you need to be healthy first to take care of your kids, right? And I think you
yeah.
raise a very good point. Let me ask you. You talked about breathing. How does breathing help you focus? What are, maybe you can even
So
go through some of the three breathing exercises or something, just so our folks that are watching can also get to understand that.
yeah. So what it does is like basically it clears the pathways to the brain. So ancient yogis say that in order to attain moksha or the samadhi, where you're connecting to the higher self, your passages, your body has to be cleaned. That's why they talk about socha, cleanliness, and they talk about even socha of your nostrils, which is jal neti, which is a kriya. Then there are 6 different kind of procedures that cleanses your body. People put a thread inside and cleanse till the intestines. They put the rope inside and then they take it out. That's one cleansing which I don't know when I learn it. A lot of people put water in and then purge the water out. That's also cleansing. So there are 6 different procedures, and one of the procedure is Kapalbhati, which is basically breathing out. So you have to constantly keep breathing out. So what happens is your passageway for your lungs and everything gets cleaned out, which could have been blocked from mucus or impurities or I don't know, pollution, or the kind of food we are eating, the kind of air we are breathing, even the aerosols that are in the air, the planes flying. There's so much pollution in the world today. Apart from food and what we eat, air, water, everything is kind of polluted. So they're saying to attain moksha, your body has to be completely clean for you to immediately get that channel.
Namaskar and welcome to my COVID Wellness Workshops in association with We Serve Canada, Ara Arts, and Trillium Health Partners. I'm going to be talking about Kapalbhati, which is also called breath of fire. It is an important Shat Karma, one of the 6 body purification techniques in Hatha Yoga. The word Kapalbhati is made up of 2 Sanskrit words, Kapala meaning skull and Bhati meaning shining. It is intended mainly for cleaning the sinuses. This is how we do it. To do Kapalbhati, please sit in a meditative pose or a comfortable pose. You can either sit on your yoga mat, on your sofa, on your chair, or even on your bed. Sit comfortably, relax, take a deep breath in, exhale. Notice that I'm inhaling and exhaling from my nose. There should be no stress. Connect with your breath. Now, Kapalbhati is passive inhalation and very excessive or forceful exhalation. So you breathe in through your nostrils, expand your chest, and exhale forcefully, contracting your abdominal muscles. So I'll show you how. So 30 times is 1 round, and your aim should be to do 3 rounds. Please do try this. The breathing technique involves active exhalation and passive inhalation. During inhalation, the stomach sinks in and vice versa during exhaling. This stomach movement is therefore beneficial for the muscles around it, including that of the liver and pancreas. The blood flow to these areas also increases. It aids digestion and removal of acidity and flatulence related problems. Some benefits of Kapalbhati are it purifies the frontal air sinuses, it helps to overcome cough disorders, it is useful in treating cold, sinusitis, asthma, and it rejuvenates the whole body and keeps the face young and vibrant. It balances and strengthens the nervous system, and it tones up the digestive system as well.
So when you ask me do some breathing, I can talk about my number 1 breathing that I go to every time when I get anxious or I'm stressed, which is another thing that yoga does. It relieves you from stress, from inflammation and anxiety. So I do Anulom Vilom, which is, a breathing technique where you basically breathe in from one nostril while the other nostril is closed. And then alternatively, you breathe from the other, breathe in and out from both the nostrils. So that's Anulom Vilom. You generally start breathing in from your left nostril. When your right nostril is closed, you breathe in hard, you hold the breath, and then you let it go from the right nostril. And then after you've let it go, then you breathe in again from the right, you hold the breath, and you let it go from the left. And you keep doing this Kriya for a good, starters can do it anything from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And, if you want to go on, you can keep going on for half an hour, you know.
Wow.
So so the connection with this breathing and concentration is that when you're breathing in from the left nostril, it kind of goes to your right brain. So you're using the opposite brain from the opposite nostril, which, like you said, rightly said, that most people don't even use, 6% of their brain. So this kind of opens up and it cleans the passage for you to be able to use both the sides of the brain and increase your capacity to concentrate, to, have, I don't know, to be a more sort of intelligent human being.
Namaskar, welcome to my COVID wellness workshops. Today I talk about breath control, Anulom Vilom. It is a specific type of controlled breathing, mainly pranayam, in the practice of yoga. It involves holding one nostril while inhaling and then holding the other nostril closed while exhaling. The process is then reversed and repeated. Alternate breathing is said to have many physical and psychological benefits, including reduction and improved breathing, obviously, and circulation in the brain. It is also known to reduce anxiety and improve cognition. Let me show you how. To practice Anulom Vilom, I would recommend you go to a nice, comforting place in your house or a quiet area or a zone. You sit in a comfortable position. I sit in lotus position as I am sitting, legs folded. And your back has to be straight, your neck has to be straight. You want to breathe 5 normal breaths to center your body. Feel your breath inside your body. Be one with your breath. And now to start the practice of Anulom Vilom, we are going to use the right hand, where we will bend the index finger and the middle finger towards the palm, and we will be using the right thumb and the ring finger. This is how we do it. We begin by putting the right thumb on the right nostril. We always start with the left nostril. We breathe in from the left nostril. Hold the breath. Release from the right. Now breathe in from the right. You can also do this practice 5 minutes to about 30 minutes. The longer you do, the more benefits you have, but you can start obviously with 5 minutes. Try at least finishing 5 minutes of Anulom Vilom, and you will see the benefits right away. Thank you.
And I'm going to ask, Anu's going to ask the next question, but before she does, do you have to be seated in a certain position or a place to do this? And the reason I'm asking, Pooja, is because when I go for my walk, my wife and I go for a walk early in the morning. It's nice and crisp in Canada, especially in the winter and even in the summer. It's very nice. So we'll do that. And as we were walking, we one of our wonderful Polish neighbors said, "I've noticed you guys do this. What is all that?" And then so I had to explain to them. But now I
Now
can
you
make
have
it.
to, now you can explain. Yeah.
I can explain to it better than before. But and thank you very much for that. That is very, very important. And it's interesting you said that it's good for our internals and our lungs, but it's very good and important for our brain to be equally clean and fresh and get that blood circulation and air circulation. Very,
Yes.
very important. Yeah.
Yes.
Anu?
Yes.
Yeah, so Pooja, you have given so many good insights, and I'm thinking, like, if all of us, even if we do some of it, um, it would be just so good for our bodies. So, what do you think is the best way to incorporate yoga as part of your daily routine? And what is your favorite yoga pose? Like, if you can maybe show that, and of course, tell us how we can incorporate.
Sure, Anu. I mean, I have, before I go to that, I wanted to say that this was a very nice question he asked, that can you sit and do it? How can you can actually sit and do all these breathing exercises. You could be seated in a chair, in a sofa, or you could be seated on a yoga mat. Now, there's this other breathing technique which I learned from Tony Robbins when I was doing his workshop. It's called Bhastrika. And suddenly I'm sitting in Staples Center in Los Angeles with, I don't know, people from all over the world. And there's this American guru called Tony Robbins who's talking about an Indian old ancient form of breathing called Bhastrika. And he made the entire audience of some 3,000 people do this. So this is what he did. One exercise I'll show you. So he said, everybody raise your hands up and make a fist like this. So we would raise and then bring it down. And when you bring it down, you breathe out.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
He made the entire 3,000 people do this 90 times, set of 30 each. So 30 times we do this and fast. And then again, we give a little gap and then again 30 times. So it's like when I'll show you the video and you can see it. So this is Bhastrika, which I really enjoy. And this, you could do it before an examination. You can do it, before you're entering a very strong meeting or, an interview, an audition. It just kind of gives you clarity. I don't know what it does. I'm telling you, it just opens your brain. So, these things they work. And there is a reason why our ancient yogis used to do it, and they were so connected to God.
So, Pooja, I just remembered one thing that you had also mentioned, talking about these exercises. You had mentioned about brain yoga. What is all that
Yes.
about? Because that has something similar as well.
Yes, that does the same thing that I was telling about the when you pull. So you're basically pulling your left ear lobe from the outside, and
Yeah,
obviously you're not wearing earrings then, and you're pulling it from your right. So opposites will pull. So you're basically holding like this, and you're in squat position. So you're
correct.
squatting
Yeah.
down. So down, you breathe out, and when you come up, you breathe in. So that's super brain yoga, and it has same effect like Anulom Vilom in the different both the brain hemispheres.
When
And
I was a
our
kid,
Asian used to call it Uthak Bathak, right? Or Dant Bathak.
Exactly, दंड बैठक.
Yeah.
दंड, you said it. It's दंड बैठक. वो भी कान पकड़ के, जैसे हमारे टीचर्स
And
हमको punishment देते थे ना. So we didn't know that
yes.
they're actually helping us. Yeah,
Okay, Pooja, we'll go
but
back to the question. Yeah. What is the best
going
way
back,
to incorporate yoga?
I think the best way, Anu, is to just get up in the morning and, after your tummy is clean and it's empty, just dedicate anything from half an hour to 45 minutes to yourself. go meditate or breathe. And if you want to stretch, start, get a good teacher. You need to have a good teacher from whom you can learn yoga, because then it's very difficult to start the practice yourself. So I would recommend, get a good teacher. And if you don't have a teacher, take up just Surya Namaskar initially as beginners. Learn how to correctly do Surya Namaskar and try doing 10 to 12 Surya Namaskars every day. And that is my go-to yoga pose that I would, if I'm in a rush or if my mind is not clear, I just start with the Surya Namaskar.
Okay, that's wonderful. So I'm assuming that is your favorite yoga pose, that your go-to yoga pose for any and everything.
It is for any, and then I keep variating. After I've done one, I'll stretch. I'll get into a warrior pose. After I've done the 6, I will get into a pigeon pose. I'll do inversions, so I can keep variating. But a basic Surya Namaskar is just amazing.
So I'm sure you're going to show your video of doing the full Surya Namaskar, and
I
people
will
can
show you,
actually watch.
Anu.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll
Uh,
definitely show you that.
Namaskar and welcome to my COVID wellness workshops with We Serve Canada, Ara Arts, and Trillium Health Partners. If you find very little time to spare for a daily workout regime, but you want to stay fit, there is nothing better than Surya Namaskar. As the name suggests, it means sun salutations. Surya Namaskar is an ancient practice of paying respect and expressing gratitude to the sun that is the prime reason for having life on earth. It is a dynamic sequence of 12 postures repeated to make a set of 24 postures. Now 5 to 10 sets are performed at a time to promote biological changes. Regular practice of Surya Namaskar is necessary to enhance the solar plex chakra, which is the Manipura, and which influences your creativity and intuitive abilities. Let me show you how to do the sequence. Before you begin Surya Namaskar, make sure you're warmed up. You could do 20 to 30 jumping jacks, or you could do spot running, do some stretching. And when you're ready, come on the edge of your mat, your feet together. Inhale. Exhale. Center your breathing. Inhale in Pranayama or Anjali Mudra, hands by your chest, heart center. Exhale. Inhale, hands up, Asana, backward bend. Exhale, hands touch the floor, Padhastasana. Now your hands and feet are in one line. Bend your head and try to touch your forehead with your knee. From here, I'll put my right foot back in Ashvasanchalan Asana. I can bend backwards. For beginners, they can put their knee on the mat. You don't have to bend that back. For beginners, you could stay like this. And from here, I go into Chaturanga Dandasana, or a plank. Again, for beginners, you can bend your knee. From here, I will go into Ashtanga Namaskara. Put my knees on the mat, my chest on the mat, and my chin on the mat. Beginners can put their tummy on the mat. Here I will go into Bhujangasan. From Bhujangasan, I will go into downward dog or Adha Mukha Shavasana. Look at your navel. Now bring your right foot forward, Ashvasanchalan Asana. You can put your left knee on the mat or not. Tadasana. So from Tadasana, Anuvitasana, inhale, exhale, Pranamasana. So by its regular practice, blood circulation is intensified and the speed of metabolism increases, which makes all the organs of the body strong and functional. It makes all vertebrae of the spine flexible and healthy, and it increases memory and concentration.
So that actually brings me to the last question, which is more so that I know you said that the best way to get motivated and start yoga in a routine is get up early in the morning and take out half an hour or 45 minutes of your time. But in our busy lives, people are so caught up with so many things that they're doing. Of course, and for somebody who is just starting out, maybe that half an hour is too onerous for them. So let's say if somebody, we want to motivate somebody into starting doing yoga, uh, let's say if they have just 15 minutes of their time, what would you recommend that in those 15 minutes, what are the three things that they absolutely must do and that they can start on their yoga regime?
I think they can start with the basic asanas, which is my favorite asana called Tadasana, which is mountain pose. So throughout the day, you're standing with your hands down. All the blood circulation and everything is kind of going down. Tadasana basically means your feet together, and you basically align your body in such a way that your weight is neither in front nor at the back. Your posture is completely correct, and you raise your arms up and you hold this for
Okay.
60 seconds,
Okay.
just so that you reverse the blood flow. And that is why inversions are so important, in yoga, because all throughout the day we are standing down and there's no blood circulation coming to our face, our head, and our shoulders. That's why inversions are so good, because a lot of people who have shoulder pain, neck pain, and I am a little vain. Somebody told me, you want to look like this for the rest of your life, start doing headstands and handstands. And that was the day I just started my,
You do it
because
beautifully. I have seen some of your videos of the headstand puja. They are just amazing, but they are too difficult for me. I'm telling you.
they
I can just do namaste
they
right
are
now.
not. No, they're not difficult. And for people who don't want to get on the BP medicines, on the high blood pressure, blood pressure medicines, this is a 100% sure shot thing that you do a Shirshasana, headstand, which is the king of asanas, and you'll never be taking a BP medicine.
Wow,
So, and it's
that
not
is
difficult at all. It's not difficult. And I guarantee you, Anu, if you do a class with me, you'll be starting a headstand by a wall.
that sounds amazing. So tell me, so you do classes? I mean, now we are living in a global world, so it really doesn't matter whether you're in India or we are in Canada, or it doesn't matter. So do you have like you have classes that you teach actually yoga?
No, I don't have classes, but I've had, personal people reach out to me where I've done a one-on-one like Zoom. And I did your summit where I taught, close to
Yes.
200 people in Toronto 2 years ago. And,
Right.
with my LA friends, we were planning before the COVID happened, yoga retreats in the blue zones, which is where all the people in these blue zones live beyond 100 years. There are 5 zones like this in the world. So we were planning yoga retreats in these zones. Centenarians,
Oh, that
they are in Japan, they are in Costa Rica, they are in some parts in Brazil. So that, and then the COVID happened, so it's gotten pushed, but that's going to be, what I'll be doing probably when the world is clear of this virus.
So is there a that blue zone somewhere in North America?
North America, no, we have it in Costa Rica. We definitely have it in Japan, and we have it
Okay.
in Brazil. And
Mhm.
there are 2 other places, but I have to find out what those places are exactly. But here, it's pretty amazing. I know that the people, on an average, live 100 and above in today's
Right.
time.
No, I was just saying that because of COVID and all that's happened, I think a lot of things are going to change. People's mindsets are going to change. And I think some of the things that we would take so lightly previously, it's not going to happen that much anymore. I think people are going to be a lot more serious about their mental health, their physical health, their spiritual health, and any and everything that is going to be possible. I think they are going to reach out to that. And, you are doing such a wonderful work by teaching the yogic, the things that are in our scriptures, the things that we have been doing for thousands and thousands of years. And this is a time that we can actually catch them, imbibe them, use them, and really look after ourselves and our health with the wonderful yoga practices that that are available to all of us. So I'd like to say thank you so much, Pooja, for such an insightful conversation and also motivating a lot of us in trying to do yoga on a regular basis, keeping our minds clutter free, keeping our minds healthy, and taking care of ourselves. And like I said before, taking care of self care, which is very, very important. And I think the self care really starts with yoga. And I cannot thank you enough for all that you do for all of us and for everyone. And thank you so much. Thanks, Pooja.
Thank you, Anu, and thank you for taking my messages and my yoga videos across in Canada and to your sort of reach, which is important because, I mean, the more people know, the better it is. And even if it helps one
Right.
person, I believe in it, that, it's worth it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
I just wanted to, before before you do the wrap up comments,
Yeah.
I'd like to thank our moderator, Jake Deer, who is very, very active in our community. And uh, I'd like to also mention that the Trillium Health Partners, we are collaborating with Trillium Health Partners, and Jake Deer is a board member there as well. I mean, not to mention, he is engaged in many, many boards and many, many community organizations. But thank you for all the work that you're doing and participating in the COVID Wellness Series. Thank you, Jake.
It was a very engaging conversation, and my role on the Trillium Health Partners Foundation, especially now, when we look at all that's going on around the world with this COVID-19 crisis, we have to salute our frontline healthcare workers. Pooja, you spoke about your family and their doctors and how they've unfortunately, because of the patients and so on, they've contracted, they've gotten COVID-19, and they are going through that and the effects, the post effects of COVID-19 and so on. It's so important that we thank our frontline healthcare workers around the world, globally, for all that
Around
they're
the
doing.
world, yeah. I mean, we can just sit here and just, that's the least we can do is encourage them and give, honor to them for doing the world a service, because they actually have.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anu, it's very hard to say no to Anu, because whenever she comes up with an initiative, she does it all so perfectly for our community. And so it's hard to say no to her. Anu, thank you very much for being a part of today's conversation. Folks, this was VServe Canada in association with Era Arts presenting COVID-19 Wellness Series. Today was with our wonderful celebrity and guest expert, Pooja Batra. And we'll have a bunch of these series, as Anu said earlier, with various doctors talking about mental health. And want to give a special shout out to Yudhvir Jaswal, who's the group editor, the founder of Y Media, to him, to Preet Jaswal, and to the entire Y Media team with Gurpreet and Angad, and there's a long list. Just want to thank everybody at Y Media for helping us facilitate this engaging conversation. Anu talked about Trillium Health Partners, and the Trillium Health Partners Foundation is really an incredible regional hospital where they provide world-class healthcare right in your home, and in this case, it's Ontario, Canada. They have 3 sites: the Mississauga site, the Credit Valley site, and then the Toronto, the Queensway site. If you would like to give to frontline healthcare, you can do so, of course, in your respective communities. But if you'd like to give to Trillium, please log on to trilliumgiving.ca. And you can see that at the bottom of your screen, trilliumgiving.ca. Again, thank you for this engaging conversation. Thank you to Pooja Batra. Thank you to my dear friend Anu Srivastava. Please, folks, do stick around. There'll be lots of stuff on this very special series as we go through this crazy global health crisis, COVID-19. The Wellness Series continues. Take care of yourselves and those around you. God bless you.